If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. If you need...
Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 129 of the Career Mode Road to Glory here on FIFA 15. It's a season roundup video. We always do this at the end of each individual season. Have a look at how things went in not only in our league and on an individual stat basis, and we'll show you a squad report, etc. We'll have a look at how things went around Europe also. Obviously, we'll start with our own domestic league table. As you can see, Manchester City did come out on top, despite the fact that Chelsea looked like they were going to run away with the league at one stage. And in fact, at one stage, not all that too long ago. But in fact, they only finished 1 point ahead of Spurs in third, and City won the league by a full 5 points. So a very, very strong end of season for them. Obviously, they beat us in the run-in also. Rather unfortunately, of course, after yesterday's episode, we're pipped to the 4th Champions League spot thanks to our defeat against Derby by Arsenal. So I was thoroughly disappointed by that. And also, interestingly, if Derby hadn't have beaten us, as you can see, they finished 14th on 40 points. If we'd have beaten them, they'd actually have been relegated. So it was crucial for them to beat us. We were playing for Champions League, but I didn't realise it was that important for them down at the bottom. That might be why they were such a good side and so difficult to play against. Clearly playing for their Premier League survival and earning it as well. So to be fair, well done Derby. I wasn't aware that that was the case. But down at the bottom, unfortunately, we lose Swansea, Sunderland and Reading for the next season in the BPL. Obviously, we'll have European football for the first time in this entire series as we head into Season 6, and hopefully we can finish higher in the league as well. Obviously, we finished 10th in our first year in the BPL, now 5th, Europa League football. We'll have to see if we have the trouble that is stereotypically given to those Europa League sides in real life, where you might have trouble with fatigue throughout the season if you go deeper into the competition. To be fair, I don't think we'll go that far in the competition because we're not that good a team yet, but it's nice to have some sort of European comp. Otherwise, well, I would have preferred Champions League. Obviously, I would have preferred Champions League, not only for the prestige, but obviously because you get larger bonuses from it as well, and that could help us financially. But financially, we're not that bad actually a minute. But let's have a quick look at the other competitions we were involved in this year. The FA Cup was won by Spurs on penalties at Wembley after a 3-3 draw with Manchester City. We didn't even reach the round of 16 in this competition. In that competition this year, and I think we had Manchester United, didn't we, in round 3, and were unfortunately knocked out. But Manchester United were victorious in the Capital One Cup, and of course we went out on away goals to Arsenal after a 5-5 draw over the 2 legs. A 4-4 draw at home, followed by a 1-1 draw at the Emirates, saw us knocked out and resulted in Arsenal going to the final, although they lost it anyway. The European Super Cup was won by Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona won the Champions League last year, and City won the Europa League. Winners of the Champions League this year, though, were Bayern Munich over Barca, who got to the final 2 years in a row, but defeated this year 2-1 by Bayern München, and obviously in the Europa League as well. Manchester City victorious last year, and this year, if it eventually changes pace, you can see that Sevilla win the Europa League again. How many times has Sevilla won the Europa League in the past? It's ridiculous, in recent times at least. They're in the final in real life for the 2nd season in a row. They won it last year in real life as well, and now they've won it here in the 5th season of our particular career mode as well. Arsenal defeated in that final, so 2 cup finals for Arsenal this year, and defeating both, although they were able to pip us to the Champions League spot, which is probably, well, I wouldn't say most important, although to be fair, if it had been the FA Cup, not the Capital One Cup, then maybe they'd have rather won the FA Cup than get... No, Champions League football is more important than the rest, isn't it? But we'll have a quick look at the goal scoring charts. Edinson Cavani runs away with a golden boot. 26 goals for him this season. Our very own Takelo Ranti, though, comes in second with 19, 4 goals ahead of the other 3 there on 15 goals, including, again, our very own Strail Georgiev. Fabian Casada, despite his place at the club being in question, finished 15th in the goal-scoring charts with 10 in the BPL this year. And Ranti not only got 19 goals, but he also got 8 assists as well. So very, very good season for him. Georgiev 6 assists as well. Obviously, we'll have a look at the squad report so you'll be able to see stuff like that in closer detail in just a sec. Huddersfield's Danny Butterfield finished joint top in assists for the FA Cup, but top goal scorers was Wayne Rooney. We didn't really have much of a run in that competition, did we? No, we did in the Capital One Cup though, but Takelo Ranti only 3 goals, and Neymar. Oh, we won't have have a look at the rest of those. But we'll have a quick look at the other leagues around Europe, see who did what and who will be joining us in Europe next season. Obviously, it's Champions League for the top four, and we finish fifth, so we get Europa League. But joining us in the Premier League next year will be Cardiff City and Nottingham Forest. Forest miss out on the title on goal difference. QPR miss out on automatic promotion by a single point, and joining Cardiff City and Nottingham Forest in the Premier League next season will be one of QPR, Norwich, Watford or Fulham. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell who won the playoffs until we get to the next year and we see the fixture list. But PSG won Ligue 1 by 3 points from Marseille. Lille finishing third with 80 points as well. So Lyon, I believe there's only 3 Champions League spots for French teams from the domestic competition. So Lyon will be joining us in the Europa League. I'm not sure whether Stade Rennais will be in the Europa League or not either. I'm not sure on how many Europa League spots they have in France. In Germany, though, Bayern Munich win the league by a single point over Bayer Leverkusen, who were, both of them were quite a way ahead of Wolfsburg, who were quite a way ahead of Dortmund, who had a very disappointing season. 8 defeats for them, but 4 Champions League spots in Germany. So Hamburg and Schalke will be joining us in the Europa League next season. In Italy, Roma win the league by a single point from Milan. Juventus in third. Inter and Lazio will be joining us in the Europa League. Of course, only 3 Champions League spots in Italy, as we found out to our detriment in the Inter Milan series last season. Porto win in Portugal, Zenit win in Russia, Celtic win in Scotland, no surprise, and Real Madrid win in La Liga. Barcelona comes second by 2 points, and both teams again racing away with it, well ahead of Sevilla in third on 77. Atleti finish fourth and get Champions League football on 75, and then Bilbao and Valencia will join us in the Europa League next season. So I'm really looking forward to that, actually. We have a decent amount of budget so far. Obviously, I can't spend any of this on anything. I've already brought in another youth scout. So we do... If I actually click on the right thing without accidentally pressing the button. We do actually have 3 youth scouts now. I brought in Harry Croft to replace the lesser scout we had previously, and they're all setting up scout networks. So I've sent them all out, one to England, one to Germany, and one to Spain. So hopefully they can, again, come up with some absolute gems, which is what they've done this year, and I'll be able to show you those in the squad report, which we'll do now to round out the episode. But as you can see, Kieran Westwood is our number 1 goalkeeper at present. How long that will remain the case is unclear. Up 2 ratings at 76 this season, 7 clean sheets in 31 games. Not the most clean sheets, but he has been a very good goalkeeper for us. Been really pleased with him. It was a bargain at £2.1 million. He's up at £3 million now rating-wise. So I may end up selling him on next season to help us buy in other talent. But Hector Bellerin didn't actually grow as I expected him to. I was hoping, considering he played 30 games this season, he was actually going to grow quite nicely. In fact, it was Marco Polens that actually grew better than he this year, and actually took his first team spot for the majority of the second half of the season. Paul Downing grew very well, though. 1 goal for him and 9 clean sheets in 33 appearances, up 1 overall. Growing in the key spots, as you can see, passing, which I like to play out from the back, marking, and both tackling stats going up by 4. Lucio Emmanuel, Cardosa is still at 70. Probably going to sell him on if I can and replace him. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Andy Kellett has been very good for us this season. Really impressed with him, and he will definitely be staying at the club. Probably won't retain first team spot though, because of course we've got Callum Robertson coming in from. Is it Callum Robertson? I can't quite remember. We've got the left back from West Ham coming in. I genuinely can't remember. I might have to check that. Jenkins Chikowi has actually grown for the first time in 2 seasons. He's up 1 to 79, although still his physical stats won't grow for me. I'm going to try the short-term loan glitch to see if we can boost his growth in the second season. And if that doesn't work, then we will end up moving him on, because he is still homesick and wants to leave to perhaps go back to Spain. But we could get a really good price for him. But obviously, I'll try the short-term loan glitch to see if he grows a little bit first. He can play at cam. No, he can't play at cam. I thought he could. He can play at right mid or left wing. I swear he used to be able to play at cam, but regardless, we'll move on. Juan Andrés Aguilar is up +5 overall this season. Been very pleased with his progress, and he will continue to hold that first team spot down, I would think. Carlos Grazo, I wasn't sure what to make of him this season. 2 goals and 4 assists, but I'm really not sure. I may think about moving him on, although obviously we're going to need squad depth for the Europa League, so I may actually keep him for rotation purposes. Nicholas Spaller is the highest rated player at the club right now, 80 rated at 19 years of age. Brilliant young talent that we picked up on a free transfer as a free agent at the beginning of the season before last, I believe. I think he was with us in the Championship, and he has the potential to be special. So obviously we're going to continue to start him at left mid for the foreseeable future, and fingers crossed he can continue to grow. His physical stats are already pretty decent, so his technicals will continue to grow, and hopefully he'll be a very good player for us. Charles Georgiev got 17 goals this season and 7 assists. Pleased with him, up 3 overall, and he'll continue to grow hopefully next season as well. He also is an exciting prospect. Takelo Ranti, £3.2 million he's valued at now when we paid 1.9 for him. 22 goals and 8 assists in all competitions. Can't rate him highly enough. He's been absolutely superb. Hasn't grown that much, but is up over 1 overall. But really, really pleased with him. He scores a couple of worldies as well, as you saw in the Liverpool game in the last episode. But Kevin Schmidt will probably be moved on, unfortunately. 2 goals and 3 assists for him. Just not quite good enough to cut it in the Premier League. Marco Polenz, as we mentioned, has been keeping Hector Bellerin out of the first team, and you can see why. His stats are very good, especially his physical is starting to grow now as well. And he only played 17 games this year, but he will definitely be my starting right back next season. Up 4 overall this year. He was a free agent we bought at the beginning of this season. Luke Berry, I probably will move on, because even for rotation purposes, he won't really cut it now. Adarabio, we bought in on a free at the beginning of the season. Oh no, we didn't. We paid 900 grand for him from Crystal Palace. My apologies. 2 goals and 2 assists for him. It's actually grown quite nicely. So he'll probably stay in the rotation side. He can actually play at right mid as well as at cam. So it'll be good to keep him. Jack Grealish is currently unhappy, but obviously I want to keep him. And I may actually start to give him a little bit more first team football to try and keep him happy, or maybe send him out on a short-term loan to try and glitch him to being happy. Fiola, again, might move on. I'm going to be looking for quite a few centre-backs, I think. Michael Woods is he's content, but he barely played this season. Well, it felt like he barely played, but apparently he got 20 appearances, so fair play. He's been with us for years now, and really pleased. He's a good squad player, and we would probably keep him, although may look to replace him because he's getting on now, 29 years of age, and his stats are starting to drop, but Fabian Casada, really don't know what to do with him. Obviously, Kevin Schmidt's going to leave, so I'll probably keep Casada for rotation, but hasn't seen as much football this year as he has done in previous, but obviously that's because of the former Takelo Ranti and Stral Georgiev. Gabbiadini is another midfielder we brought in as a free agent at the same time as Aguadar. Not grown quite as much as his fellow compatriot, but he's still growing quite nicely, up 3 at 68. Then we get one of the youngsters we brought in this season, Jorge Asenjo. He's going to be going out on loan, obviously, next season. Same with Thievi Walongwa, perhaps. He's growing quite nicely, though. We brought him in as a free agent in January and played a decent rotation role for us. Only 3 games, but up 2 overall, so pleased with that. Marcus Hutchinson is the guy that I'm thinking about replacing Kieran Westwood with. He's 16 years of age. He's 6 foot something, I think. I will check if he's 6'4". Yeah, it said just there, didn't it? 6'4", yes. And traditional goalkeeping style, but he played 1 game against Derby, conceded 2, and that cost us Champions League football, so meh. But as you can see, decent stats for a 16-year-old as well. Really, really good, so he might get some first-team football next year. Fabian Torres initially was going to be the next big thing goalkeeper-wise, but I may end up selling him on because we have another couple of good youngsters. James Gillett, he is going to go out on loan next year. He's already at 1 after coming in at the end of the season, so hopefully he can grow quite nicely. Anton Bridge is another youngster we brought in. He'll go back out on loan. Fabian Lopez is better than Fabian Torres, and he's taken over, and he'll go out on loan next year, Fabian Lopez. But Fabian Torres may get moved on. I'm not sure. I may send him out on loan as well, just to see if he grows quite nicely. Ivan Santillan will definitely be sold. Francisco Senurelli probably going to be sold as well if I can move them out. And Joe Dunk and Andrew Mowat were out on loan, and they will both get sold as well. Although Joe Dunk might go back out on loan, but I'm probably going to sell him because he doesn't look anything too special at the age of 19. But that is going to bring today's episode to a close, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll have a transfer targets video for you next episode where we'll have a look at the people that we have on our shortlist. At the minute, it's only Quezzy, but we do have our scouts out looking at players at the minute, as you can see. Some of the players here, but I won't spoil that for you too much. But Europa League football for us next season, and hopefully we can really improve the squad. We should get a decent budget. I'm hoping, we had 8 million this year, I'm hoping for 10 million plus. And also, if we can sell on a couple of players, then that'll help us too. But for now, we'll have to settle with what we've got here, which is 5 million, and we'll head into the next season. And fingers crossed, we'll have the money to spend and we can improve again and push further on up the table. But that's going to bring the episode to a close, like I say. Thank you very much for watching. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. It will be streaming, obviously, on Twitch later on tonight, probably in about half an hour's time. So follow the link in the description to take you there. And, of course, feel free to check my second channel as well if there's anything there you want to watch that will hopefully be going up over the next few days, some second channel content. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.